Proto-Slavic as the unattested, reconstructed proto-language of all the Slavic languages. It represents Slavic speech approximately from the 5th to 9th centuries AD. As with most other proto-languages, no attested writings have been found. Scholars have reconstructed the language by applying the comparative method to all the attested Slavic languages and by taking into account other Indo-European languages. Rapid development of Slavic speech occurred during the Proto-Slavic period, coinciding with the massive expansion of the Slavic-speaking area. Dialectal differentiation occurred early on during this period, but overall linguistic unity and mutual intelligibility continued for several centuries, into the 10th century AD. Later, during this period, many sound changes diffused across the entire area, often uniformly. This makes it inconvenient to maintain the traditional definition of a proto-language as the latest reconstructible common ancestor of a language group, with no dialectal differentiation. Instead, Slavicists typically handle the entire period of dialectally differentiated linguistic unity as Common Slavic. One can divide the Proto-Slavic, Common Slavic time of linguistic unity roughly into three periods: an early period with little and no dialectal variation, a middle period of slight to moderate dialectal variation, a late period of significant variation. Authorities differ as to which periods should be included in Proto-Slavic and in Common Slavic. The language described in this article generally reflects the middle period, usually termed Late Proto-Slavic and often dated to around the 7th to 8th centuries AD. This language remains largely unattested, but a late period variant, representing the late 9th century dialect spoken around Thessaloniki and Greek Macedonia, is attested in Old Church Slavonic manuscripts. Introduction. The ancestor of Proto-Slavic is Proto-Balto-Slavic, which is also the ancestor of the Baltic languages, e.g., Lithuanian and Latvian. This language in turn is descended from Proto-Indo-European, the parent language of the vast majority of European languages. Proto-Slavic gradually evolved into the various Slavic languages during the latter half of the first millennium CE, concurrent with the explosive growth of the Slavic-speaking area. There is no scholarly consensus concerning either the number of stages involved in the development of the language of the terms used to describe them. For consistency and convenience, this article adopts the following scheme. Proto-Slavic is divided into periods. One division is made up of three periods: Early Proto-Slavic, Middle Proto-Slavic, Late Proto-Slavic. Another division is made up of four periods: Pre-Slavic, a long, stable period of gradual development. The most significant phonological developments during this period involved the prosodic system, e.g., tonal and other registered distinctions on syllables. Early Common Slavic or simply Early Slavic, the early, uniform stage of Common Slavic, but also the beginning of a longer period of rapid phonological change, as there are no dialectal distinctions reconstructible from this period or earlier. This is the period for which a single common ancestor can be reconstructed. Middle Common Slavic, the stage with the earliest identifiable dialectal distinctions. Rapid phonological change continued, although with the massive expansion of the Slavic-speaking area. Although some dialectal variation did exist, most sound changes were still uniform and consistent in their application. By the end of this stage, the vowel and consonant phonemes of the language were largely the same as those still found in the modern language. languages. For this reason, reconstructed Proto-Slavic forms commonly found in scholarly works and etymological dictionaries normally correspond to this period. Late Common Slavic, the last stage in which the whole Slavic-speaking area still functioned as a single language, with sound changes normally propagating throughout the entire area, although often with significant dialectal variation in the details. This article considers primarily Middle Common Slavic, noting when there is slight dialectal variation. It also covers Late Common Slavic when there are significant developments that are shared identically among all Slavic languages. Notation. Vowel notation. Two different and conflicting systems for denoting vowels are commonly in use in Indo-European and Balto-Slavic linguistics on one hand, and Slavic linguistics on the other. In the first, vowel length is consistently distinguished with a macron above the letter, while in the latter it is not clearly indicated. The following table explains these differences. For consistency, all discussions of words in early Slavic and before use the common Balto-Slavic notation of vowels. Discussions of Middle and Late Common Slavic, as well as later dialects, use the Slavic notation. Other vowel and consonant diacritics. The hachicon consonants is used in this article to denote the consonants that result from iotation and the Slavic first palatalization. This use is based on the Czech alphabet, and is shared by most Slavic languages and linguistic explanations about Slavic. The acute accent on the consonant S indicates a special, more frontal, hissing sound. The acute is used in several other Slavic languages to denote of similar frontal quality to a consonant. The ogonek indicates vowel nasalization. Prosodic notation. For Middle and Late Common Slavic, the following marks are used to indicate tone and length distinctions on vowels. Based on the standard notation in Serbo-Croatian, acute accent, a long rising accent originating from the Balto-Slavic acute accent. This occurred in the Middle Common Slavic period and earlier. Grave accent, a short rising accent. It occurred from Late Common Slavic onwards, and developed from the shortening of the original acute tone. Inverted brie, a long falling accent originating from the Balto-Slavic circumflex accent. In Late Common Slavic, originally short vowels were lengthened in monosyllables under some circumstances, and are also written with this mark. This secondary circumflex occurs only on the original short vowels EO in an open syllable. Double grave accent, a short falling accent. It corresponds to the Balto-Slavic short accent. All short vowels that were not followed by a sonorant consonant originally carried this accent until some were lengthened. Tilde, usually a long rising accent. This indicates the Late Common Slavic neo-acute accent, which was usually long, but short when occurring on some syllables types in certain languages. It resulted from retraction of the accent under certain circumstances, often when the Middle Common Slavic accent fell on a word final year. Macron, a long vowel with no distinctive tone. In Middle Common Slavic, vowel length was an implicit part of the vowel, so this is usually redundant for Middle Common Slavic words. However, it became distinctive in Late Common Slavic after several shortenings and lengthenings had occurred. Other prosodic diacritics. There are unfortunately multiple competing systems used to indicate prosody in different Balto-Slavic languages. The most important for this article are three-way system of Proto-Slavic, Proto-Balto-Slavic, Modern Lithuanian, acute tone versus circumflex tone versus short accent. Four-way Serbo-Croatian system, also used in Slovenian and often in in Slavic reconstructions: long rising, short rising, long falling, short falling. In the Charkovian dialect and other archaic dialects, the long rising accent is notated with a tilde, indicating its normal origin in the late Common Slavic neo-acute accent. Length only, as in Czech and Slovak, long versus short. Stress only, as in Ukrainian, Russian and Bulgarian, stressed versus unstressed. History. Phonology. The following is an overview of the phonemes that are reconstructible for Middle Common Slavic. Vowels. Middle Common Slavic had the following vowel system. The columns marked central and back may alternatively be interpreted as back unrounded and back rounded respectively, but rounding of back vowels was distinctive only between the vowels *y and *q. The other back vowels had optional non-distinctive rounding. Thus, the vowels described as short and long were simultaneously distinguished by length and quality in Middle Common Slavic. The vowel length evolved as follows. In the early Slavic period, length was the primary distinction. In the Middle Common Slavic period, all long-short vowel pairs also assumed distinct qualities, as indicated above. During the late Common Slavic period, various lengthenings and shortenings occurred, creating new long counterparts of originally short vowels, and short counterparts of originally long vowels. The short close vowels *I and *U were either lost or lowered to mid-vowels, leaving the originally long high vowels *I, *y and *q with non-distinctive length. As a result, vowel quality became the primary distinction among the vowels, while length became conditioned by accent and other properties and was not a lexical property inherent in each vowel. Many modern Slavic languages have since lost all length distinctions. Some authors avoid the terms short and long, using lax and tense instead. Consonants. Middle Common Slavic had the following consonants. The phonetic value of most consonants is the same as the traditional spelling. Some notes and exceptions. *C denotes a voiceless alveolar affricate. *DZ was its voiced counterpart. *S and *Z were post-alveolar and *C and *DZ were post-alveolar affricates, and, although the latter only occurred in the combination *ZDZ and had developed into *Z elsewhere, the pronunciation of *T and *D is not precisely known, though it is likely that they were held longer. They may have been palatalized dentals, or perhaps true palatal as in modern Macedonian. *V was a labial approximant. It may have had bilabial as an allophone in certain positions. *L was, before back vowels, it was probably fairly strongly velarized in many dialects. The sonants *L N were either palatalized or true palatal. The pronunciation of *R is not precisely known, but it was approximately a palatalized trill. It survives as a separate phoneme only in Czech, but also existed in earlier Polish. In other languages it either merged with *R or dissimulated into *RJ. A slight non-distinctive palatalization was probably present on all consonants that occurred before front vowels. When the high frontier *I was lost in many words, it left this palatalization as a residue, which then became distinctive in most East and West Slavic languages. Accent and tone. As in its ancestors, Proto-Balto-Slavic and Proto-Indo-European, one syllable of each Common Slavic word was accented. The placement of the accent was free and thus phonemic. It could occur on any syllable and its placement was inherently part of the word. The accent could also be either mobile or fixed, meaning that inflected forms of a word could have the accent on different syllables depending on the ending. or always on the same syllable. Common Slavic vowels also had a pitch accent. In Middle Common Slavic, all accented long vowels, nasal vowels and liquid diphthongs had a distinction between two tones, traditionally called acute and circumflex accent. The acute accent was pronounced with rising intonation, while the circumflex accent had a falling intonation. Short vowels had no tonal distinction and were always pronounced with falling intonation. Unaccented vowels never had tonal distinctions, but could still have length distinctions. These rules are similar to the restrictions that apply to the tones in Slovene. In the late Common Slavic period, several sound changes occurred. Long vowels bearing the acute accent were usually shortened, resulting in a short rising intonation. Some short vowels were lengthened, creating new long falling vowels. A third type of pitch accent developed, known as the neo-acute, as a result of sound laws that retracted the accent. This occurred at a time when the Slavic-speaking area was already dialectally differentiated, and usually syllables with the acute and/or circumflex accent were shortened around the same time. Hence it is unclear whether there was ever a period in any dialect when there were three phonemically distinct pitch accents on long vowels. Nevertheless, taken together, these changes significantly altered the distribution of tones and vowel length, to the point that by the end of the late Common Slavic period almost any vowel could be short or long, and almost any accented vowel could have falling or rising tone. Phonotactics. Most syllables in Middle Common Slavic were open. The only closed syllables were those that ended in a liquid, forming liquid diphthongs, and in such syllables, the preceding vowel had to be short. Consonant clusters were permitted, but only at the beginning of a syllable. Such a cluster was syllabified with the cluster entirely in the following syllable, contrary to the syllabification rules that are known to apply to most languages. For example, *bogatistvo, wealth, was divided into syllables as *bogati stvo, with the whole cluster stv at the beginning of the syllable. By the beginning of the late Common Slavic period, all or nearly all syllables had become open as a result of developments in the liquid diphthongs. Syllables with liquid diphthongs beginning with an o or e had been converted into open syllables, e.g. *tort became *trot, *trat or *torit. The main exception of the northern Lakitic languages only with lengthening of the syllable and no metathesis. In West Slavic and South Slavic, liquid diphthongs beginning with iu had likewise been converted into open syllables by converting the following liquid into a syllabic sonorant, dot. This left no closed syllables at all in these languages. The South Slavic languages, as well as Czech and Slovak, tended to preserve the syllabic sonorants, but in the Lakitic languages, they fell apart again into vowel-consonant or consonant-vowel combinations. In East Slavic, the liquid diphthongs in iu may have likewise become syllabic sonorants, but if so, the change was soon reversed, suggesting that it may never have happened in the first place.